Hello everybody and welcome to Reed's Reads Spider-Man Crawl Space Edition. Please check us out at the SpiderManCrawlspace.com. Well, I'm here for part 2 of the Chameleon Conspiracy, an amazing Spider-Man 68, aka 869 of Legacy number. So let's get right to the prose of the Nick Spencer and co-writer Ed Bryson's next part of the Chameleon Conspiracy. So first of all, the prose. I have to say, this story actually flows pretty well. It actually picks up from where the cliffhangers last issue were with the revelation of Ned Leeds still being alive, as well as Tressa Parker finding out about the finisher. So it really kind of goes right into it, but we're kind of teased out a little bit as we don't really know what's going on and what the Chameleon wants with Teresa and actually what the finisher is going to do. But the storyline would actually explain how Ned is alive is actually not badly put together. It actually makes a lot of sense if you think about it when you go ahead and talk about how the Green Goblin, Norman Osborn, came back to life, as well as how Roger Kingsley has had an uncanny healing factor for quite a while when he has ran around as the Hobgoblin. So how Ned's alive actually makes plenty of sense and how it gets a grave. Of course, we're leaving that mystery about his mysterious benefactor, which looks like a certain pair of shoes that the Chameleon wears. Hint, hint. And so forth. And I really like actually what is the point of reason why they're trying to get the clairvoyant and how it actually ties in with Betty Brant's storyline with the, of course, the propaganda, the war information between Symmetra and, of course, Bavaria, as well as using the Russian angle with the propaganda social media news. It makes plenty of sense, especially since the Chameleon himself is Russian in origin and because of other current climate. So it actually ties all together of exactly why it is. Now, however, how Jamie's little information comes with the clairvoyant is also very interesting, since we know why it ties into why the Foreigner and Chance want the clairvoyant and the catalyst, so they can have it where the house is always doing the wins, so they can make more money, which would help Symmetra, which would help their treasury, which would help with their own financial things between the war area as well as the country itself. That makes sense, but what the Chameleon really wants with it and why they're trying to find out with the propaganda, we don't know that. So it sets up a very second part of the mystery, very interesting. It definitely pulls you on in, as well as the return of a classic Spider-Man villain, Sly, which actually makes plenty of sense how he's been used before in the past and how he actually works with the clairvoyant. However, that kind of leads me to the cons here too, because we're having some issues too about this is all starting to come together, but like I said, we're doing story threads that were months and months old, from the fact that Betty was working on the storyline for the Daily Bugle, how many times it was teased, but yet Robbie wouldn't tell Peter or anybody else exactly what Betty was doing, and considering the fact she was trying to find out all this information and what was really going on back with the 2099 storyline from last year and a few other things, it just feels a little too kind of what do I say, pushed to the side that we should care about the storyline now, even though it's been building for a while, and the fact that Peter actually was having the old park it look and the I better not respond to Betty. Me not think that way, me hooked up with other issues with Kindred and Mary Jane. Not that there's anything wrong with Mary Jane, but of course the fact that how Peter ignored all this, and the fact that everything with Jamie's actually been going there, and the fact that Peter's been ignoring everything with the grad studies and the Lizard is now what's putting them on this collision, of course. And of course we're seeing more of the teases, especially at the end issue with Dr. Octopus, of course, recruiting the Sandman into it, and of course the Lizard plugs into it with Jamie taking the badge, all the information with the Catalyst, and of course the Foreigner. So we're kind of seeing probably most likely why the Lizard is actually going to be put into this storyline, especially when he finds out about how he's been using the energy from the clairvoyant as well as the Catalyst for his own mutation, which we know goes to the family, and the fact that Dr. Octopus talks about helping the mortality issue of the Sandman at the end of the issue. Looks like how that's all playing together. So it's really nicely done, and I kind of like the pace of the story as it just keeps going, even though there's still some breaks in it. I'll give it a B+. It's not a bad storyline, but I really want to know. I felt there should have been more with the Chameleon, Teresa, and the finisher. We still got some interesting teases with Ned Leeds, because I'm thinking too that really this Ned Leeds is a LMD, life model duplicate, and his mysterious benefits is the Chameleon, but yet how does that explain how Betty Brant is pregnant unless the Chameleon was pretending to be Ned? Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like that theory. Maybe I'll be proven wrong in a couple weeks, but we'll find out. So I'll give the storyline a B+. And on that note, everybody, I'm going to be gone all next week, so I will be back after that, of course, to review the big Venom 200 and the conclusion to the King in Black, and then be right on back for part 3 of the Chameleon Conspiracy with issue 69, 870. So on that note, guys, please check us out at the SpiderManCrawlspace.com. Check us out on our social media for all your questions, and please listen to the podcast or check us out on Discord. And we will see everybody later.